and consistency. Today, we're diving into the story of a true immortal in bodybuilding. Strength, focus, and tons of inspiration are waiting for you in this video. So grab your pre-workout and come along with us as we dive into the journey of an athlete who became a legend. Get ready for a story that goes way beyond muscle. Because some names don't just pass through history, they get carved into it forever. Albert Beckles was born on July 14th, 1930, in Bridgetown, the capital of the Caribbean island of Barbados. From a young age, he stood out for his discipline, determination, and love for physical activity. Even with few resources, his mind was set on something bigger. He wanted more than just a simple island life. At 19, he took a leap of faith and moved to London, England, chasing the dream of changing his life. Those early days were rough, low-paying jobs, grueling routines, but Beckles had something rare, laser-sharp focus. It was in the UK that he discovered his true talent for bodybuilding. Back then, the sport was still in its early stages, especially for immigrants, but Beckles found a refuge and motivation in gyms. Bit by bit, he built his physique with intense training and full-on dedication. No sponsorships. Every penny he made went into food and basic supplements. He was all in. His first official competition came in 1959, the classic Mr. Britain. Even without experience, he wowed the crowd with his shredded physique and confident stage presence. He took second place, a massive achievement for a first-timer. But more than the ranking, it was the moment he realized he was meant to be there. Have you ever had a moment that changed everything after just one try? For him, that stage lit a fire that never went out. In the following years, he kept competing locally and making a name for himself. Even while facing racial prejudice as a black immigrant in a time full of social barriers, he let his talent and fierce discipline speak louder than anything else. His physique did all the talking. He didn't need to shout to be noticed, just stepped on stage and posed. What's interesting is that Beckles didn't skyrocket to fame overnight. His early results were a mixed bag, and for years he hovered around second and third place. But that never broke him. Quite the opposite, it fueled him. He learned from every loss, tweaked his training, fixed his diet, and came back stronger every time. Back then, bodybuilding was more about passion than fame. No social media, no million-dollar deals, just the athlete, the grind, and the stage. And still, Beckles stood out. Slowly but surely, he earned the respect of the British bodybuilding scene, not just for his physique, but for his work ethic and humility. He was the kind of guy who greeted everyone backstage. Do you believe character counts as much as results? With Beckles, it was crystal clear. Albert's early journey wasn't easy, but it was powerful. A young immigrant from a tiny island built, step by step, the foundation of what would become a legendary career. The 1960s were the decade Beckles went from promising newcomer to established figure on the European bodybuilding stage. With every contest, his name carried more weight. He didn't just show up, he took command of the stage. In 1970, his relentless effort paid off with major wins. NABA, Mr. Britain. These weren't lucky breaks. They were the result of years of non-stop hustle. But the best was yet to come. In 1971, Albert made a splash on the international scene by winning the IFBB Mr. Universe, taking home the overall title. This was a historic moment. He became the first black bodybuilder to achieve that honor. At a time when the sport was still mostly dominated by white European athletes, Beckles broke through those barriers. He didn't just win, he opened the door for others. His physique wasn't just big, it was art. He had clean lines, perfect proportions, and symmetry that looked hand-sculpted. But the real showstopper, his insanely peaked biceps, they became his signature. Even today, those arms are a benchmark in the sport. And then there was his stage presence. Albert didn't just flex, he performed. Graceful, composed, and always smiling. He struck that perfect balance between raw power and charm. The judges loved him. The crowd loved him. Back when showmanship mattered just as much as size, Beckles was one of the few who nailed both. When Beckles won Mr. Universe, it was more than just a title. He became a symbol of a new chapter in bodybuilding. He showed the world that talent and hard work don't come with a color,